Muy buenas chavales, bienvenidos y bienvenidas a otro vídeo para el canal. ¿Qué tal estáis, chicos? Ya estamos llegando al final de la semanita. Espero que tener una semana de putísima madre, la verdad, porque yo la semana que viene me lo voy a gozar, pero no sé, yo os lo contaré en el vídeo de mañana. Y, y nada, en el vídeo de hoy, como bien os dije, vamos a hacer el siguiente partido de, de la All Hallows League, que yo considero que es un partido que va a estar bonito, sin duda, que va a ser Oracle, perdón, contra Eclipse, ¿vale? Ya sabéis, creo que voy a hacer solamente los partidos que ya he hecho de Eternal, de Oracle, ¿cómo se llama? El de los rusos. Soy su normal, perdonad chicos, soy gilipollas. Eternal Oracle, eh, pam, Calamity, eso que se me había olvidado. Eh, y el que hice el primer vídeo de esta sección que fue. Joder, eso es normal, tío. Elísimo, coño. Es que verdad que soy retrasado, chavales, perdóname. Y bueno, este es el siguiente vídeo. Oracle contra Eclipse. El siguiente será seguramente Eternal contra Renacer. Joder, de verdad, los nombres de esta gente son todo jodidos de decir. Renaissance. Renaissance. Vaya tela, Borja. Y nada, eso, en el vídeo de hoy vamos a tener ahora que el contra Eclipse son, como yo os digo, al mejor de tres, ¿vale? En el primer partido se jugará Espectro, que ya lo estamos viendo en pantalla. En el segundo partido a lo desconocido. Y en el tercer partido, si es que lo hay, porque ya sabéis que si es un 2-0 no habría tercer partido. Yo ya me sé el resultado, a vosotros no lo voy a decir para no hacer spoiler. Y el tercer partido sería Plaga, si es que lo hay, ¿vale, chicos? Y nada, ¿qué os iba a decir? Ah, sí, perdón por este vídeo subirlo más tarde de la cuenta. Ya sé que siempre subo el vídeo a las 5 de la tarde, hora española, ¿vale? Pero hoy se me ha torcido muchísimo los planes, se me han añadido planes extra y pues el vídeo ha tenido que esperar. Así que este vídeo no sé cuándo se subirá, a las me imagino que 6 de la tarde, una hora más tarde, me imagino, o por ahí, o 6 y algo. Así que nada, que eso, que mil disculpas. Y el vídeo de mañana es que lo tendréis a las 5, 100% seguro, ¿vale, chicos? Así que nada, vamos con la partida en sí. Bubo Azar, bueno, ahora se llama Bubo, killer de Oracle. A mí me encanta, es uno de mis jugadores favoritos, la verdad. El tío juega que te cagas de bien. Me acuerdo de una partida hace tiempo que Bubo casi gana al killer del otro equipo, que era un cheater, ¿vale? Se le detectó que tenía wallhacks, ¿vale? Pues Bubo casi le gana. O sea, imaginaros lo bueno que es Bubo, que él sin trucos gana casi gana, le perdió por un cuelgue, ¿vale, chicos? Perdió por un cuelgue contra alguien que tenía trucos. O sea, increíble. Siempre me acordaré de esa partida para hablar de Bubo. Y nada, en otro equipo, no conozco a nadie, la verdad. Eclipse para mí es un equipo nuevo, serán jugadorazos solamente los cuatro, pero no conozco a ninguno. Scorez, MRK, Matis, Kouros, Alkiller, ya veremos si le conozco. Y vamos, serán jugadorazos seguro. Y nada, en este caso Bubo va con el addon de correr mucho más rápido y de repartir mucho más rápido. En este mapa tiene sentido, ¿vale? Bueno, en este mapa ponerte el de romper rápido tampoco es que le vayas a coger gran ventaja, ya que hay muchos palets y tendrías que desaparecer y aparecer muchísimas veces. Entonces estos dos van muchísimo mejor. Para mí un completo acierto. Bien, y de addons va con ruina, favor de sangre inmortal e intervención corrupta. Aquí lo malo es una buena build, sin duda, pero yo os diré que la intervención corrupta va a hacer que los surbis se pongan a buscar totems y los encuentren de manera más fácil que si se ponen a reparar desde el principio. Yo creo que aquí no me hubiese puesto intervención corrupta, creo que es el error, estas tres perks están muy acertadas. Yo aquí me habría puesto, por ejemplo, carnicero chapucero o sí, carnicero chapucero estaría muy bien. Pero claro, a lo mejor está baneado, ¿vale? Recordad que hay muchas perks baneadas y realmente no se sabe por qué no cogen perks. Pero bueno, yo creo que intervención corrupta, yo habría cogido otra perk. La que fuese intervención corrupta va a hacer que le encuentren el inmortal lo más rápido posible y o ruina y favor de sangre. Pero bueno, quitando intervención, tres muy buenas perks. A ver qué tal la partidita.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it is very avoidable, but actually at the same time also think that, it's possible that.
Es increíble, de verdad. Algún día lo cambiarán, espero. Que los totems salgan clavados al lado de los motores. O sea, fijaros, tío. O sea, esto me parece...
You're able to maybe
Perdón.
avoidable, but actually.
Mirar, tío. O sea, motor y mirar el tótem. Es que esto no de verdad tienen que arreglarlo porque no puede ser que salga un tótem al lado del motor. Que salgan repartidos por el mapa, pero no así, porque es que son demasiado fáciles de encontrarlos. Y entonces se te quitan las ganas de llevar tótem de maleficio.
At the same time, also think that, you know, it's possible that you're able to maybe, I feel like with the different environmental sounds in the map, it's really easy for Wraith to kind of hide a little bit. And just like that, Bubble already finding the first survivor. That's a tag right there.
Vale, ya he visto a dos supervivientes, al MRK y al Scorez, que la ha pillado en tierra de nadie. Se irá hacia la izquierda, imagino, porque si se va hacia arriba tiene que quede equilibrada.
And yeah, like just like that, like I feel
Vale, parece que le va a proteger.
like it, you know, they were kind of caught by surprise, and that's I think one of the advantages that the Wraith will
Un salto, aquí normalmente siempre se juega a que haga 3 saltos.
have right now.
2 y el tercero ya no puede hacer nada más.
Going in here with the first injury
Aquí el superviviente muy mal, muy mal. No sé por qué ha tardado tanto en saltar.
as quick as possible, trying to make it very fast here. That's now going to be the first down coming through very fast and very quick.
Siempre que empiezo a grabar el vídeo, los cascos tienen poca batería. Vaya tela.
Yeah, a little bit of a paranoia right there from Bubba. Like you saw him kind of like look up, like, wait, are they gonna jump down and try to get, you know, try to do some shenanigans right here? But gonna get the first hook already. Yeah, I mean that was a very quick down for sure.
Inmortal, adiós.
Bubba, no signs of slowing down. Obviously, you know, doing really well so far, but you know, you see the notifications in the distance. I feel like that might have been something like a dime popping up or something like that.
¿Habéis visto los reflejos? Aquí la Gladez, bueno, se ha salido por 50%, pero el búho aquí lo ha hecho perfecto.
And it's crazy how Bubble is just smashing through.
El espectro se juega mucho así, en plan, pegar e irte. En este caso deja al Matis ahí herido, jodido, y ahora se va al cuelgue, que es lo importante.
Here Scorus is now going to put the next response, or it's scattering out here after Scorus with the hook stage. Mathis now with the injury right here. The same goes to MRK, and the
Ahí le ha dado hit por favor de sangre, ¿vale?
Blood Favor is doing a lot of
Si os fijáis, mira, hit y se va, ahora solo queda Kouros.
work here. These Palans being blocked after handing out an injury is definitely going to work towards them.
Aquí se equivoca Hugo. Era bueno el intento, pero se equivoca.
Kurosho is the next one, the final healthy survivor in a mind game here. Bubble tried to get the pallet out with this fake. Did
Muy bien aquí Kouros. Bubo lo ha hecho casi bien. Le ha faltado un píxel, pero Kouros aquí muy bien.
work and just a few inches, but there's going to be the stun right after as well. A little bit of time gained by the survivors. Kurosho now getting this unhook for free. It's not going to be a trade anymore. That means
Vale, un cuelgue nada más.
though the tap better finding some safety, because this looks like a very clean tunnel out, and with this blood favor, I don't think he's going anywhere.
Yeah, no, I was definitely about to mention how strong Blood Favor is
DS, menos mal.
in a situation
Porque si no la partida lo hubiese sentido muy jodida.
like this. But again, there is the second chance perks that we're talking about. Get slapped with D shouts to my boy Q, right? So out here trying to prolong.
Es Kouros aquí fatal, no sé por qué se ha metido. Si os fijáis aquí, simplemente este movimiento ha hecho que el superviviente caiga.
Talking about get slapped with D shouts to.
Se mete para aquí, no sé por qué. Porque el palet de todos sabemos que esta habitación está aquí, en el final. Pues se mete por aquí, no sé por qué.
My boy Q, right?
Mirad, ¿veis? Este pequeño movimiento ha hecho que junto a que tenga reaparecer rápido, no llegue.
Right, so out here trying to prolong this chase
No sé por qué ha hecho esto, aquí muy mal Scorez,
just a little bit, but not able to get it. Maybe, oh, but Blood Fever covering the pallet, so you can't even get a stun off of that, even if someone was positioned correctly. Look at that, just like ego running through the pallet, knowing that someone can't drop it on the right behind
Buah, y lo lleva a las escaleras. En las escaleras es bastante jodido salvar al superviviente.
them. So, yeah, gonna end up just getting another hook stage right here. Gonna be second
Y 0 motores, todo esto.
hook onto score. So, yeah, it's gonna be really scary right here. Can they play his life, especially with no gens being done? It's gonna be really scary to kind of see how like I feel like they're not getting a ton of progress. I mean, that hit and run, it felt like there was a moment of hit and run from Bubbo that kind of shook the survivors a little bit, because it was like, well, where are you going? Like, who are you focusing? And now it's like, okay, now I'm about
Muy bien, MRK aquí.
to have someone dead, and now I'm coming after to get some
Porque hacer eso era jodido, creedme que era jodido, era un palet inseguro.
more tags in, right? And again, kind of that hit and run play style.
Yeah, and the speed of how Babbo is progressing through these injuries, through these hook stages, is definitely quite insane here. So that's something that is
Va a ir por el otro lado, por la escalera del otro lado.
very,
Muy bien.
very much respectable that he's doing here. Of course, keep in mind.
Uf, aquí muy mal Bubo, Aquí debería haber Bubo pegarse a la escalera y haberle cortado el camino, pero bueno, no creo que llegue igualmente a nada.
Babbo was selecting Hawkins National Laboratory.
Efectivamente, pero bueno, lo podría haber hecho mejor Bubo,
And he knew that this is going to happen.
Pues nada, el score es partida de 5 estrellas, la verdad.
So he has this sort of extra preparation. But for Eclipse here, definitely going to be a tactical decision that works out in the disadvantage. So for
Scourez muy mal, las chases muy mal, la verdad. Y los compañeros tampoco le han ayudado nada, tío, nada. No le han ayudado absolutamente nada. Yo le hubiese echado una mano porque ahora mismo está Scourez muerto y tenéis 5 motores. La verdad, esto es una cagada para el equipo de Eclipse.
for Babbo, it seems like they are really shocked by this being Hawkins National Laboratory. They are struggling with the blood favor.
Vale, ahí le han roto ruina o favor de sangre.
Blocking a ton of pallets in a radius in different rooms whenever the injury was coming out. We saw it beautifully when Babbo tried, for example, to tunnel one survivor out. There were multiple pallets blocked and there was just nowhere to go. So what you needed essentially was a survivor that is going to take the body block.
Muy mal el sprint. A ver, lo tenía aquí, si os fijáis, al 99%.
Where to go. So what you needed essentially was a survivor that is going to
Pero no lo tenía bien al 99%. Hay que dejarlo justo el sprint. Porque si no, mirad lo que pasa.
take the body block for you, and setting that up spontaneously on a map that you didn't know beforehand is the true challenge here that we're putting up in All Hallows League. The result of that challenge so far, you can see all in the hut. It's good.
Muy mal aquí, Kouros, muy mal. Tiene que saber que tiene favor de sangre, que se lo pueden no quitar y se va al pozo.
To be an eliminated survivor early on.
Aquí el sprint muy mal utilizado, ha sido el mayor error que ha tenido.
And Kuroshu going down as well. Behind us in the corner, there's one survivor starting to work on a generator. Bubba will hear that into the room, so he might go straight towards the generator, interrupting it afterwards. It's important now for the survivor team that they do keep it calm. It is very easy to panic in a situation like that and realize, oh, we are not getting the progress into the generators at all, and we are already down one team member. And the blood favor SSB, this is something that they really, really need to take care.
Yeah, I feel like they were really working on. I mean, we saw Undying kind of go away. I think Ruin might.
Este es el problema mayor, que la Gladius sí que se ha hecho el motor porque está arriba con caída equilibrada, bien hecho por parte de Matis, pero nadie está haciendo nada. No están yendo al descuelgue, están inquietos, sin saber si rescatar, si reparar, están perdiendo el tiempo.
Gone away too, but I feel like, yeah, Blood Favor was just so, like, I feel like having multiple hex totems, like, you can keep, like, you'll either get the effects of slowdown, which means you'll play more hit and run to get people off gens, or if you have Blood Favor up, you just get as many tags as you want, and you know, you basically get rewarded. It's actually kind of crazy because, yeah, like you said, like there's so many situations where the survivors couldn't play aggressively on defense, right? That they weren't able to get pallet stuns, they weren't able to get saves, and there's another tag, and yeah.
No, chicos, que me llama mi pareja. Estoy grabando vídeo, Celia. Grabando un vídeo. Sí. No, no sé, por nada en especial. Pero estoy grabando un vídeo, lo digo para que lo sepas. Vale. Venga, hasta ahora. Chao. Perdón, chicos.
Yeah, it just makes it so much harder because now you can't drop pallets and like.
O sea, no puedo ser más natural. Cojo las llamadas, me tiro un pedo, no sé qué, papá, me saco un maquete.
Can just cloak up and get to you immediately, unless Bubba wants to go target someone else, and that's exactly what he's doing right here. Going after Kate, that's gonna be a down right there.
Qué asco da a favor de sangre, da mucho asco, la verdad. Si no fuese por esta perk, las chases hubiesen sido mucho más jodidas para Bubu.
Yes, it is, and yeah, at 4 gens, I mean, this is looking like a crazy result right now to start off for Oracle.
Yeah, your return into DBD League, into competitive Dead by Daylight with a potential 4K on 4 gen standing, right? Because Kurushu needs to be saved, meaning that Mathis, the healthy survivor, has to make a move, leaving MRK as the survivor that is able to work on a generator. And an injured survivor against the Wraith is pretty hard to play. You're being caught out somewhere. You might be in a bad environment. Who's this over here? I think that was Mathis here trying to rotate from upstairs towards the unhook, but MRK actually rotating in a perfect timing, so the risk of the injury is not going to come in clutch here because Eclipse was preparing a very nicely timed save. Let's see if Babo is able to mind game around this.
El sprint, vale, se lo está guardando aquí muy bien Cobros.
Going to take another
Derecha, ¿veis? Aquí se activa el sprint.
Attempt. And then he's going to find Kurushu once again, who's circling into the bag. A little bit of a mind game here. Eventually, Kate is going to leave it. Nice pathing here by
Muy bien aquí, Cobros.
Kurushu is taking quite some distance and wasting time. And now he has some very valuable pallets to
Muy bien, Cobros,
work with here.
Yeah, I was just
Muy bien, Cobros aquí, muy bien hecho.
about to mention the fact that that Kurush was on a really bad palette earlier, and I was like, don't play this one, and then was able to kind of fake out Bubo and transition to this tile that has much better palettes, and now you're playing your life so much better than you have been all game. And I think that the rescue, the injured rescue, was so helpful just because you weren't having to deal with
Los tiene gigantescos, Cobros. La verdad que lleva los cojones arrastrados por el suelo.
potentially blood favor, right? Because Bubu can just go target one person, then that boom, that's blood favor. So now you're able to actually play your life a lot better. You're able to play these palettes more aggressively.
Súper bien, Cobros, muy bien.
Right, and again right there.
Lo está peleando como gambilla, Bubo.
There gets the swing and a miss, drops the pallet at the right time, and just like that, a generator gets popped in the distance. And like this
Y se va aquí, Bubo, muy bien hecho.
is the kind of defense that the survivors needed to have been playing, but blood favor just wasn't allowing that to happen at all. So really like the way that they've kind of turned this around. They might be able to, at worst case scenario, get this at a 4K2, which is actually would be kind of crazy considering
Muy bien, MRK aquí, aguantando el salto todo lo que puede.
scores died at 5 gens.
Este palet es muy malo, vale, chicos, muy malo. Aquí como killer, que el Surbius tire el palet. Una vez tirado el palet, está muerto el superviviente, ¿vale? Y vosotros como superviviente intentad tirar el palet lo más tarde posible, ¿vale?
MRK now with the responsibility to have another good chase because
Es que es muy difícil jugar este palet, muy difícil.
time is what the survivor team needs right now, but Babo is just confident on this swing with his very beautiful skin that he's presenting here. We always love the spectator bug on the Wraith there, kind of got used to it after so many months. MRK, the fresh hook though, that's the good news for the team here. 2 minutes and 20 seconds of hang time. That gives quite some room for the generators, and you can even keep MRK on the hook for quite a while, prioritizing the generators. Mathis and Kurushu as healthy survivors, also showing us that Eclipse is very much able to make a nice comeback here. Babo not
¿Cómo sabía que venía,
at all any more close to a 4K.
Hola, mi amor.
Instead, the survivor team more and more in charge. Feels like they got familiar and warmed up with the National Laboratory here, making the
Aquí Claudet, claro, tiene que quedar equilibrada. Sé que hay que quedar aquí.
this palette not fully. Unfortunately for Mathis, that really looked like he wouldn't take a hit. Balanced landing going to give him this little bit of extra distance.
Este palet parece no, pero es complicado jugarlo de superviviente, con el palet tirado.
Back and forth into the down, though unfortunate quick down for Mathis. Yet with the broken effect on MRK, we'll see the heal coming through in just a second. So we are staying on 2 healthy survivors, which is very great.
Yeah, definitely really good for sure. I mean, yeah, again, like
Pues mira, con lo bien que ha empezado la partida, que 2 motores ya,
we said earlier, right, the worst case scenario, probably a 4K2, and that's exactly what it looks like it's going to happen. And I feel like they're playing around blood favor so well. Like, they're being more aggressive whenever they do have a pallet. Like, obviously, like, the rule of thumb, like if you want to extend chase time, right, like you can be like very pallet drop happy. A lot of people generally have been kind of like reading these pallets, but I feel like with Blood Favor you can't really afford to do that. And so far these survivors have been able to make that correct adjustment, because I feel like they've been able to play around drop pallets a lot better. Bubu hasn't really spent a whole lot of time breaking them, just because I feel like maybe he doesn't really need to right now. But this is kind of the moment where I feel like maybe you do, right? Like you have a Blood Favor timer, but that's also why you have someone in the distance lurking around, ready to take this body block hit potentially. But I think MRK maybe feels like he can extend the chase a little bit, but just like...
Obviamente aquí el chungo no sirve para nada, ¿vale? Porque el chungo sirve muy bien cuando estás llegando al palet, cuando el palet está en el sitio, pero cuando el palet ya está tirado, el chungo es una mierda, porque el killer solo tiene que esperar a ver si lanzas el chungo o a ver si saltas por encima del palet, y ahí te da el hit.
Like that. The dead hard though, no one home for it. Great.
Y el killer no es gilipollas, ¿vale? Este killer, digamos que tiene bastante inteligencia, sabe que cada survey tiene una pérdida de agotamiento. Ya habrá visto que Score tenía tal, Matis ya ha visto que tiene que equilibrada y Chorus ya ha visto que tiene sprint. Entonces dice, seguramente MRK me lleva un chungo. Y efectivamente, pues lo espera.
Great bait right there from MRK, going straight to the pallet, but Bubbo just being a little bit more patient, and that's a stage 2 right now for MRK.
Still good organization, we could say, on the hook stages. MRK taking the second stage, not another stage onto Kuroshu. So what they are doing really good here is this rotation through the survivor team and not taking this second elimination. That would really bring us closer towards the 4K. And we are now talking about the 4K too. I remember SSB just a few minutes ago, we were talking that Babbo has the realistic chance to turn it into a 4K on 4 generators standing. Now we are on 4K with 2 generators standing, and this is exactly showing us
aquí muy mal Bubu, no debe haber lanzado ese hit.
How great Eclipse made this come.
Esto es un gran error de Bubu, la verdad.
Back and MRK with a dead heart. Yeah, hello. My guy is going to take a wonderful usage of the perk here into a
Cuidado, tiene dos motores muy avanzados.
longer chase, not even going down because Babbo has to rotate towards the other generators. This is what we were talking about in the campfire chat. Quite some players from Oboy. Oboy was known as one of the teams that can make great comeback, and the spirit from Oboy
no he hecho nada, este motor está poco avanzado.
Seems to live further in the players of Eclipse here. Very, very
muy bien, Cobra es el que mejor está jugando de todos,
wonderful to see that nice swap off the pedal now as well. Kuroshu extending this comeback even better. I'm hyped to see what else they have up for us. They might get all the gens done if they continue like this.
Yeah, no, they've been playing so well right now. Like you said, the comeback definitely having to play a lot cleaner, especially after having such an early death onto a survivor.
Es que este palet contra el invisible no sirve para nada, porque con el sprint que sale te da siempre.
Everyone was able to play it well. You even saw some nodders right there from Bubble, was just like, yeah.
Os fijáis, eso los deja heridos y ahora se van los motores a finiquitar las persecuciones.
That's a really hard palette to play if you're Wraith, just because there's like a block of line of sight, so you don't know which side Kate's gonna be on, and then
no tiene chungo, no tiene nada. Adiós, MRK.
Obviously, like you said, kind of a ping issue, so or there's not really as much of a ping issue potentially if it's EU versus EU, so
aquí las presas de dar hit.
That can make it really difficult. Finally, though, gets the down onto MRK. Gonna opt to leave for the slug just because Bubble knows someone's working on a gen potentially. It looks like maybe they both were either doubling up on a gen or going for a reset, but they're definitely both kind of scattering away a little bit. Maybe trying to open up the playing field a little bit to kind of rotate over to MRK to maybe get the pickup. But now it's going to be up to Bubble. Like, you know, which one are you going to pick? Like, are you going to prioritize the gen or are you going to prioritize the slug? And it looks like he's prioritizing the gen, so that means Mathis is probably
Cobra se está jugando muy bien, la verdad.
Probably going to be able to rotate over.
Aquí el sprint perfecto.
So this is going to be really nice right now. How much can you extend this chase for? You have pallets, right? Blood Favor isn't up right now, so you're able to kind of hold on to this chase a little bit longer, but I'm not sure where Bubble's going now.
Mal sitio para curarse. Como venga el de espectro, estáis mega jodidos.
Yeah, no! Unfortunate for
Casi le has tuneado, pero casi lo hace perfecto. Y este palet era súper jodido.
Running into Babbo there and taking the down. I was just about to say, if they are able to keep
buenísimos esas púas que aparecen en un palet que está tirado.
this up, with their
El buen bug.
organization, with their resets, then they might really put up a better win condition than the 4K2 here. Then very unfortunate that Kuroshu runs straight into the Wraith and is now going to be eliminated. Math is still injured and we have located him right here. We see the blood puddles right onto the floor, but then Math is turning into the stealth master, forcing Bubble to go back on the generators, doing a check up here. MRK, the healthy survivor, 100% trying to be on the generators, and it's time to talk about a rule change that we made for the AHL, because you might ask yourself, why are they not setting up for an end game play here, trying to get someone out of the door, especially in Hawkins, where the hatch can spawn quite random and the exit gates are very far apart.
Muy bien vuelto, porque si no te le hacen el motor.
Well, we changed the scoring. If you haven't completed all the generators, any escape you're performing will
Vale, ya se tiene que volver por allá. El survey estará por esta zona más o
be
menos.
ignored. We have made this change because of the problematic RNG during the end game. So if we take the situation right now, 4K on 2 gens remaining, if you get out of the exit gate or the hatch, then as the last survivor, you definitely get some style points and we'll congratulate you, but it's still going to count as 12 stages on 4 individual survivors. Only if you completed
Yo creo que se ha ido arriba, fijaos lo que os digo.
all the generators, then you may escape through the hatch or the exit
El pajarito, pillado.
gates as the final stand.
Putas del pajarito.
Survivor, and it will count towards you. Next chase is going to start with MRK, and it's also going to be the last one of this matchup in case Marcus is suddenly going to
Pósala. Listo.
doesn't need to worry too much about the slug either, and I think
Rough start. I think map. Yeah.
Vale, tenemos las perks para que las veáis. El fajador que tenía MRK, que de equilibrada. Con Dejavu, el resurgimiento está muy bien actualmente, ¿vale? Os recomiendo mucho esta perk, la verdad. El sprint, liberación que no... Creo que lo usó la liberación, sí la usó, sí la usó. Inquebrantable, tal, agilidad y eso. Si os fijáis, tienen una pedagogía cada uno, por eso se olía que tuviese chungo. Bien, muy bien jugado por Bubo, la verdad, muy bien jugado. Al final ha durado mucho la partida, pese al gran comienzo que ha tenido, pero bueno, muy buena partida igualmente. Vale, y...
Welcome back, everyone.
Eclipse, perdón, Eclipse. Iba a decir Eclipse de Killer, que bueno, Killer de Eclipse. Siro, pues no lo conozco. Y aquí tenemos a Nigel, Bubo, Virtual y Zongo. Cuatro monstruos, la verdad. Para mí, el mejor diría que es Nigel, pero tampoco están ahí, son todos muy buenos, la verdad. Y va con build de romper rápido y reaparecer. Para mí, error. Es mejor la de moverse más rápido. Y de build, muy parecida. Favor de sangre y ruina. Y gancho flagelante de retumbante. Yo creo que me hubiese puesto un inmortal. Inmortal es bastante necesario. Pero bueno, a ver qué tal.
For one, the stage is set, the win condition is also set. 4K2 is going to be the score to beat for Shiro right now.
Si hacen 4 motores, se han ganado, básicamente.
And going up against, again, let's talk about it, Team Oracle having some OG names on the screen right now. We got Nigel and Zongao over here.
Por cierto, hablando de este mapa, Spectro es bastante fuerte en este mapa, ¿vale? Pero igualmente hay que jugarlo bien, ¿vale? Hay que jugarlo bien, pero han elegido este mapa porque Spectro es muy bueno aquí.
With a little bit of some of the more recent, heavy
Ojo, el David va con mi skin, me encanta el Bubo, es que, en fin, lo quiero.
hitters in the comp scene, Bubbo and Virtual.
Bueno, esta es la skin que suelo yo llevar.
B1. It's going to be really nice to see how they're going to fare up. Already finding the first survivor right here. Are you going to be able to get around right here? Yeah, going to end up getting the
Cae de equilibrio mal utilizada.
Blood Favor. Both teams bringing Blood Favor, which is, I feel like, so good on Wraith for sure, especially like we talked about earlier. That hit and run playstyle going to make those pallet drops basically impossible now. This is probably going to be the first down unless you make it in time, and
Favor de sangre, toma por culo.
yeah, you do actually. Bubble able to
Por eso hay que llevar inmortal.
kind of hang on just a little bit longer, but how much longer is going to be the question. Can you chain another pallet right here? Potentially you can, and this is kind of
¿Qué le pasa al ruido? No sé yo,
the new guard, right? Like this is Bubble, one of the more like not new guard, but like has been playing
Qué pena, por muy poco, por muy poco.
quite a bit, right? Especially recently. Obviously,
Bubo se la ha jugado muchísimo.
Playing on Ariando and Eternal before that, having a lot of experience, but no experience is gonna save you, right? That was kind of a ping diff situation right there, right?
Yeah, he's gonna mold about that one because he should have made that. Very unfortunate for Babo going down here early and opening this up with the first hook stage, though. It does give hope to all the Eclipse fans because this was a very good start for their killer, and this is certainly what you need when you are facing a 4K on 3 gen standing win condition. 4K2 would be the tie here. Zongao
No sé yo, pero le pasa algo al ruido.
taking the injury as well, but he's in the corner of the map, potentially running upstairs. This is really not where the Wraith wants to be right now, so we are just going to circle back towards Babo now, running away from the hook. Just has been unhooked, needs to be a good run here. He needs to make sure that he's wasting some time because just as in the previous trial, we are seeing the elimination strategy, and that's very understandable, especially as one of the weaker killers. You want to make sure that the survivor team has been cut down to 3 survivors.
¿Qué cojones? Tiene lag perfecto el Bubo, Mira que en el anterior le dio un poco de pocos. Pero aquí a mí me habría pegado hit. A mí y al 80% de nosotros nos habría pegado hit.
Overall, that's not going to work a second time.
Interesante que lleve esta perk, chicos. Muy interesante que lleve esta perk. Claro, contra Spectre en este mapa pues te viene muy bien. La verdad, esta perk. Pero esta perk creo que no la había visto jugarse desde el 2017.
On to Babo, I'm almost glad for him though. Because he really didn't deserve to be hit by a ping twice. Therefore, we are actually seeing that the Wraith is leaving now, prioritizing the generator defense. And that's interesting though, because
Vale, este va con la perda de totems.
having the elimination strategy usually needs to lead towards the elimination. So it's very understandable that you are going back to Babo here, but this is definitely quite some time waste.
Yeah, definitely wasting a little bit of time right there, and you know the survivors able
Ha utilizado gancho flagrante, por cierto, ¿vale?
to cleanse, if I'm not mistaken, cleansing blood favor early on, right? No one dying this time, right, on this side of the thing, this side of the coin. So I feel
¿Veis lo mal que se ha escuchado el vídeo? Madre mía.
like, you know, getting lucky and only cleansing one totem, because teams play through ruin all the time. But I feel like playing through blood favor, if you were Eclipse, I feel like that made your job so much more difficult the entire game. And now I don't think you even have to worry about it anymore. I feel like that detective's hunch might have helped Zonga maybe call out where these totems were for everyone else as well. So was able to maybe make it count, right? And now all of a sudden the pacing of the way that everyone's slamming gens is so much faster now. Already at 4K, already at 3 gens left. No one's dead either. That's the sprint burst.
Muy bien, le ha metido el por los demás y aquí muy bien Virtual ha utilizado sprint.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, these team is playing so clean right now, and kind of just goes to show how good they are.
Aquí sí un poco mecánicas.
As the next missing hit onto the Virtual was trying to get him out of the way with another injury, but now we're back onto Nigel. The one was taking more the people help. Is it going to work?
Buena agilidad.
The answer is yes, because the light is going to come and clutch. Very well played in the corner of the map here.
Ay, Dios mío, qué mal se les escucha a los comentaristas, tío, de verdad.
Wiggling.
Es que nadie os ha dicho en los comentarios que se escucha como el culo. Jigs that call audio. Vale, no soy el que está loco. Joder, es que se escucha como el culo, tío.
Free, pretty much making sure that he's going to take some distance. Bubble protected though. This is the big outcome for Oracle. The survivor that is supposed to be eliminated is not going to face death this early in the trial. And this also means that 4 survivors are now
Voy a bajar volumen, vale, porque me duele la cabeza y que seguramente a vosotros también os duela.
responsible to get 2 more generators out of the way for the win here. Zongao healthy, staying around for the save potentially. What is the optimal survivor to be in the next chase? But I think we're not going to see that anymore.
Lo siento por el volumen del vídeo, pero es que es lo que hay.
Very stealthy.
Yeah, absolutely. Gonna try to play very stealthy. Obviously, I'm assuming, you know, the team is
Bubo,
probably
¿qué
communicating.
per llevaba de agotamiento? Se me ha olvidado, la verdad. Así queda equilibrada. Yo va a quedar equilibrada.
Like we're good. Bubbles on the second floor. Like he's good to go, right? Like he's gonna be there for a while. And I feel like that gen's also. I feel like he's gonna be able to get that gen done. And I feel like this is the mid game where Pain Res is going to start hurting, right? Especially if these fresh hook survivors are going to try to take body blockets to keep people alive in the situation, which they probably will have to because you'll have Nigel and Bubba both on death hook unless they get the save right now. So I feel like Pain Res, I feel like will start really kind of slamming them mid game. But if they can power through and get a lot of progress on these gens right now, I feel like that's going to be the difference maker, and they'll be well over the win con.
And there's the difference already visible. There will be one additional generator bringing us to the tie, and this gen right here from V1 has 70%
visto, le dan la alerta y él ya se baja del motor para estar en un sitio seguro.
of
Con el
progress.
sprint preparado.
Going back into the portal room here with the sprint burst, he's going to make some nice distance for himself, but this is going to be tricky now because
Solo que el sprint contra Spectro pues no es tan buena como parece.
there's two healthy survivors that could return back into the portal room, taking over the generator that V1 was just working on, so they have a lot of resources here. They do prioritize the healing, however, which I really like because it shows that Oracle is not just trying to smash the final generator blindly, knowing that they are close to it. Instead, they are taking the good and careful approach here, and that includes getting rid of the injuries. Claudette trying to waste as much time as possible here. Zongo, though, doesn't want to vault another time because otherwise he would be trapped in the portal room, so he's going to take the distance instead. Overall, very careful, very coordinated survival.
El palet se lo tira para meterse en circuito, ¿vale, chicos? No es... El hit sabe que se va a llevar, pero se hace su propio circuito.
Survivor gameplay is taking the injury here, but if he's running towards the top side and is able to keep the Wraith busy a little bit longer, which is not going to happen, he's going to be on the floor here, but with the emote
Bien quedado en palet.
it indicates to the Wraith that there's someone around, so by checking the area and the environment you will definitely lose some extra time. Virtual has been found, has deliverance for himself
Uyuyuy.
from earlier. We're very carefully
Por poco.
on Shiro here. It's not going to be the pallet safe, but the survivor team right now wasting so much time from the killer that the fourth
Los ha tenido Siro muy gordos,
and win deciding
Pero bueno, un motor más y pierde la partida.
generator should definitely be completed. So
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they're two stacking it. Like, I think they probably are, and it's just like, all right, let's just get it done. Especially because V1, oh wait, the gen's right here. Oh, that's actually not the worst thing in the world because you can kind of get a tag right here.
Muy mal hit.
Oh no, able to try to get the swing and was unfortunately ended up missing. But now this kind of situation where yeah,
Aquí el killer horrible. No te puedes comer este palet aquí.
you have to prioritize the gen, but gets stunned. Oh no, that's so unlucky. And I feel like
Él dice, ven a por mí, que yo me muero, pero se va todo mi equipo por la puerta de salida. Claro, es que a Pubo le interesa muchísimo.
I feel like now you can just rotate over to a different side of the map and double up on a gen. So I feel like now that's just a ton of pressure, and Shiro's gonna have to get these hits really quickly, and just like
El Pubo dice, ven a por mí, colega. Ya perdí la partida ahora sí, lo vale a estas alturas, pero bueno.
that, gets the stun, the emo, and the fourth gen completed, and that, my friends, is the win con right there met. But obviously these survivors, you already know, like everyone plays it until the match is over, so you'll have to see it. So we're gonna see some pretty aggressive chases and loops and maybe greets, but just like that, the last gen getting done also. That's crazy because I feel like that gen they had pretty good amount of progress, but the fact that they just slammed two other ones, from the distance, just felt like they were in control the whole time.
now Bubble going to be on the final run here.
¿Cómo se nota cuando te pueden tirar palets,
Will we see the style points of a four-man escape? Bubble maybe getting some bodies to help him out. That would be too insane, but unfortunately.
Qué pena, Si no fuese por un segundo, Nigel abre la puerta y cubre a Bubo, Y se escapan los cuatro.
Nigel is saying, well, Bubble, was nice knowing you, was nice what you did for us on the killer side. Well, that's going to be enough, and you're going to stay in the trial. Bubble is with a very nice result here for them.
Bubo al pinchote y nada. 1-0 para... Ahora que vamos a ver perks y tal. Vale, tenemos las perks, oportunidades tiene el David con caída equilibrada, déjà vu, tal, agilidad, el golpe decisivo por los demás, el fajador, resurgimiento, muy interesante. Resurgimiento con espíritu interior. Y el spin con liberación, pero muy buenas, la verdad, muy buenas. Así que nada, ya os digo, es que el favor de sangre se ha notado demasiado en la partida de Bubo de Killer, demasiado. Aquí Siro ha ido sin inmortal, ha preferido llevar gancho flagrante de retumbante, que gracias a eso ha utilizado 3 de 4, que está bastante bien. Pero claro, que te quiten favor de sangre tan rápido, pues al fin y al cabo estás muy jodido, pues estás prácticamente sin perks. Y ya Bubo le dura el favor de sangre toda la partida, prácticamente. Creo que toda la partida o casi toda, pero claro, se nota mucho. Y para mí que he elegido el addon de romper paredes, le ha venido un poco contraproducente. Es para mí mejor el otro addon en este mapa. Bien, vale, vamos con lo desconocido.
Welcome.
Mira, en este caso va el Killer Scorez, que es el que antes estaba jugando de superviviente, que para mí ha sido el peor superviviente de todos, diría. Pero el mejor superviviente me ha gustado muchísimo. Bueno, aquí Bubo, la verdad. Bubo es el que Inigel diría que son los que mejor han jugado, porque básicamente Virtual y Zongo no han tenido apenas chase. Y del otro equipo de Eclipse, Kouros es el que más me ha gustado. Scorez, la verdad que jugó bastante mal de superviviente. Vale.
Welcome.
Desguace, que ya sabemos que se mapa donde se juega lo desconocido. Bien, ya sabemos que este addon de aquí abajo está bastante fuerte. Está muy fuerte. Y el addon verde se me ha olvidado, la verdad, sinceramente. Es que, en fin, mi memoria, digamos, que parece que he fumado María a lo largo de mi vida, pero no he fumado ni un poquillo. Bien, intervención corrupta, ruina a favor de sangre y gancho fragante de retumbante. Creo la misma build que su compañero con espectro no lo diré. En Hawkins. Iba a decir Mid-Hawks. Una mezcla entre Midwich y Hawkins. Y la buena dislexia. Bien, está bien, muy buena build, la verdad. Muy buena build. Aunque creo que favor de sangre de lo desconocido no lo necesita para nada, sinceramente. Mira que Spectro sí, porque al fin y al cabo es un M1. Pero creo que lo desconocido no lo necesita. Yo me hubiese puesto otra perk, la verdad. Yo que sé, por ejemplo, Pim Pam Pum, por un ejemplo.
Back everyone. You may have noticed some audio issues in the previous trial. Obviously, we are
Aquí siempre lo importante es meter el veneno, ¿vale? Meter el veneno cuanto antes, ¿vale?
very sorry about that, but our medium to work with is Discord, and if Discord does not work properly, then we have to change. We found a solution, we hope at least. Yeah, we don't have a technical Discord staff on our team, so
no hay sonido de juego.
let's try and work with what we have. Thanks for your understanding, though. Zongo is taking the first injury right here. It's going to move towards the fun bus. So it's a new survivor. Babo is coming in here on the fun bus. Very loved tile on the Wrecker's Yard. And it feels like we are pretty much in Season 9 right now, besides the balance that is obviously different. But
Muy bien, Bubo aquí esquivando la granada. Aunque es mejor, chicos, comerse un M1, quitarte el moco morado, que os pegue una segunda granada, ¿vale? Recordad, mucho mejor un M1.
SSB unknown on the Wrecker's Yard is a pretty
Vale, porque ahora tiene que pegarle otras 2 granadas para enviarlo al suelo.
well balanced map.
Yeah, I feel like there is a lot of space.
Qué violación. Esto es gracias al addon marrón, ¿vale? Gracias al addon marrón no ha podido hacer nada Bubo.
For
Por eso, chicos, en la chase, aparte de ir mirando a lo desconocido, mucho cuidado de dónde están las copias, ¿vale? Porque os puede hacer estas jugadas.
the unknown to kind of TP around and kind, and create a ton of pressure.
Muy buena literazo de Mada, muy buena.
Oh, the flashlight save! Oh my god!
De hecho, a este chico o chica no lo conozco, no sé quién es este Mada. Al resto sí, pero Mada creo que es jugador o jugadora nuevo.
Ends up getting it anyways. Wow, really good stuff. And then, Champion of Light obviously hindering you just a
Esto ya es una putada gigantesca para el killer.
little bit, right? That one's kind of a little bit of a funny perk, right? You're able to move around faster while holding the flashlight, and they slow down a little bit if you successfully get the blind. But yeah, that was a really good save right there. I mean, great coordination, just slotting in the correct spot to actually get the save. But I was gonna say, yeah, Wrecker's Yard has a lot of open areas. But it also has a lot of these high tiles in terms of like where the structures are, so you can get some crazy shots with your M2. So I feel like that could probably take some of the old guard from Oracle by surprise a little bit. But I feel like generally they're playing it pretty well, and yeah, it's pretty nice to see so far. I mean, this is the comp corner, you already know. It's gonna count your losses. Hopefully,
Estos son dos motores, chicos.
one of the pain wrist hooks is pretty far away, so you can get some more gen progress done. But thankfully, the first gen got done already, so not gonna lose a whole lot right here. So so far so good right now from Oracle.
Yep, absolutely. It's a good trade for the killer. It's always sounding nice if you have this one hook stage, and yeah, you can use one generator for that, but for the survivor team for sure. 3 healthy survivors still. We don't have any additional injuries that are spreading. We have still a lot of resources on the Wrecker's Yard here, so
Muy buena granada al salto de ventana.
for them it's definitely looking not too bad. Zonga taking the UVX effect here will be affected by the next shot of the power that is now recovered fully. Around this loop here, not the safest
Muy buena aquí.
one for the survivors will be a quick
Ah, vale, el lado en verde es el de que cuando les hieres con la granada les metes desesperanza. Muy buena.
injury onto Zonga,
Se me había olvidado, la verdad.
and he has to move away due to the blood favor here. But Killer chooses to use the teleportation. Perfect timing though.
Muy buena granada.
Is able to catch Nigel, who was just trying to move over towards this unhook. That means that the survivor team lost a little bit of time now because it didn't work as they planned here with the rescue trying to snipe across
Vale, adiós, favor de sangre.
the Wrecker's Yard. Blood favor now being removed from the trial, so I feel like a lot is being done for Oracle right now. They're looking strong.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, in Camper Chat, we talked about how potentially it could be difficult for this, for the old guard to kind of deal with some of the new killers. But right now,
Muy bien el killer aquí haciendo el booty block. Muy buena.
oh yeah, I mean they're doing pretty well. Obviously, unfortunately, gonna get the body block to confirm the stage 2. Nigel trying to find something, but no one home for it. But now, able to potentially continue to pressure gens, because while you are in stage 2, you could also just hypothetically run the timer and get a lot of work done elsewhere and then come and get the save. But it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to play this. Will they also just consider cutting their losses and, potentially maybe trying to power through 2 gens, trying to get a little bit of a cheeky bounce right there, and doesn't actually pan out the way that Scores wants to. And yeah, this is the situation now, because I feel like once the timer gets to a certain point, you just camp it out, and there's not really much you can do. It's exactly what it looks like is going to happen right now.
No, aquí F el killer. Aquí el killer se ha movido un poquito mal.
We're gonna have the survivor trying to go for something clean. It will be a trade though, unfortunately. Nigel will face the hook next, and that's...
Esto es súper injusto, Lo hacen mucho los conocidos. Trickster, por ejemplo, Arponero, como que te dejan, o bueno, Singularidad, como que te dejan jodido cuando sales del gancho. En este caso Mada le han dejado con el moco morado, Singularidad te deja con el moco puesto. Trickster, bueno, tradicional te dejan con casi todos los cuchillos puestos. El arponero te mete el arpón, pero tarda en golpearte. Son killers que están hechos para que el túnel se les dé de maravilla.
It's going to be now Scores trying to move as fast as possible here towards the shack, but that's going to be a quick teleport.
Es que no pueden hacer nada.
Mada not making it anywhere. Nigel and Mada being on the floor. Scores trying hard and definitely being successful here for his team. Great performance with the unknown against a confident Oracle survivor team. They came out of set 1 very, very strong. Here now on 3 gens remaining, an elimination already, an injury onto Nigel that needs to be healed now. Babo though in the next chase already. So Eclipse is making a much better
Muy bien jugado aquí por Bubu.
impression on the killer side. Of course, they picked this one, they prepared this one, but overall they can be very happy.
Mala granada.
Yeah, definitely pretty happy right now. They're looking really
Agilidad.
good. I mean, Bubbo is having kind of a crazy chase, I'm not gonna lie. Finally gets the tag right there and eats up the teleport. So now Bubbo knows that the only way that
El Bubu está trijodido.
he's gonna go down is with an M1 or M2. No cheeky teleports right here, but this is a really bad tile to kind of loop around. You kind of have to get a little bit lucky at this
Es que no puedo hacer nada.
point. And yeah, you just play the max range of that effect and able to actually get the down, and no flashlight saves right here because it looked like Mata was the one who was able to get that flashlight save earlier. So gonna get a stage right here. Wait, gonna get the.
Le ha tirado ahí porque es un gancho flagilante. Y como el gancho, ahora los ganchos, para que lo sepáis, cada un minuto, me parece cada 60 segundos, vuelven en sí, ¿vale? Todos los ganchos del mapa, ¿vale? Lo han puesto hace poco.
See what the thought process
Me está esperando a que el gancho vuelva.
is right here in terms of leaving someone on the ground.
Yeah, we are definitely trying to cook something here. Now
¿Veis? Ahí está el gancho donde murió Mada, pues ahora va Bubu.
Babu is going to be picked up. That's going to be the next hook stage being awarded for them, and that's going to be hook stage number 4. Potentially also introducing our second tunnel out target
Muy mala ganada de Scorez aquí.
for this match. Zongao and the next chase here being located by Scores. Is it going to be a quick injury? The answer is no for now. Zongao with a very nice pathing here.
Pues qué buena granada, tú. Buenísimo.
But faces the UVX shot when leaving into the next tile here. So Scores at least not letting the Oracle survivors away for free. They have to take at least the UVX onto them. Now, camping again, interesting strategy for me. But looking onto the generator pressure, we have one survivor that is staying close. We know that since we have seen Zongao dipping into the tile earlier. It's only one survivor that is currently working on the generator. So pushing Babbo into the second stage in exchange for one more generator might be a good trade after all.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that might be a good trade, especially because there's a chance, even if you get this third gen done, I feel like there is a chance that there's, like, you see Zongao working on this gen and the progress is really low. So you can confirm bubble stage 2, you get the save, and
Tiene que ir negro a rescatar porque tiene liberación, básicamente.
you kill off Bubbo anyways because you just tunnel out, and now it's a 1v2 with 2 gens left. Like, that's really hard to get a fourth gen done at that point. So I feel like if you play your cards right, I think 4K2 might be the result right here. But we're gonna have to see. I mean, you see Nigel trying to prepare a save right here, but that timer is so low. I feel like we probably won't see it. I feel like
No he flipado.
so low. I feel like we probably won't
Nada, he flipado, chicos.
see it. I feel like we've seen Scores play the defensive game a lot, very successfully so far. Obviously getting Mata out earlier, so I feel like we might see lightning strike twice right now for Bubble. So we'll see the body blocks right here, maybe trying to get
Como sabe que no va a poder bloquearlo ahí porque es todo campo abierto, no va a poder, pues le pega el hit y fuera.
things going. And the thing is, with a long range killer, like,
Pero yo os digo que a Nigel no creo que le cuelgue. Va a ir ahora por Bubo y...
and someone who can TP because the TP's back up. If you get a little unlucky, then you're just gonna go down again if you're Bubble.
And this might be the danger right here, as you mentioned. He's injured already, he didn't make it very far, and at least not to a very safe zone, where you have a line of sight breaker or anything, considering that the UVX power is being taken care of. Though they get a fourth generator, but Oracle definitely a lot more struggling in this set than on the Wraith. Nigel was a few seconds onto the floor, will be picked up now. Deliverance is active and ready to be used, so Nigel is allowed to ignore the anti-Kobe rule and can unhook himself. That's definitely a huge time saver for the team here. No one needs to rotate over. They can prioritize the generators. And in the meanwhile, Zongao is already in the next chase. I really love how Scores is able to constantly work with these survivors, constantly chasing someone, keeping them busy, and this is the key to preventing them from getting these generators done. And we see the outcome of that
Uy, no era más nada,
very beautifully right here.
Yeah, absolutely. That's gonna be the down right there. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and you saw the M2 right there from Scores, right? That's kind of one of those vibe check moments where, like, do you know that this is gonna bounce off the tree and can still hit you? And I think that Nigel kind of had an idea because we saw a little bit of a weird, like, kind of pivot. So I feel like maybe there is some awareness even from the older survivors for sure. So it's really nice to see that they did a lot of prep going into this set. For
Nigel tenía chungo y no lo ha usado. Interesante.
sure. So, you know, right now trying to maybe find a situation where you can probably get the last gen done. I mean, 4K0 is pretty good, so I would definitely try to prioritize that if you can, but we're gonna have to see if someone here can save, and yeah, it looks like that's what's
Muy mala nada que debería haberlo acertado.
gonna happen right here.
Save coming out. The difficulty of Wrecker's Yard, these outside hooks towards the pockets on the left and right side. It's very hard to get out of there sometimes. And we see that right here. Zongao could only move towards this pallet. Now he's already straight back to the UVX as well. And that's going to be a very quick down for scorers again. Eclipse just keep going with the dynamic game plan being executed here. Hook stage after hook stage, if you want to name it like that. Fresh hook though, that's the good news for Team Oracle here. 2 minutes and 20 seconds. I still feel like 2 minutes 20 is sounding wrong. I'm still so used to the 60 seconds, but if you are unaware, ladies and gentlemen, they changed the duration of a hook stage to 70 seconds. So Oracle has now earned 2 minutes and 20 seconds here for themselves, and we can only hope for them that they are using that for the final generator. Scorers though is showing the situational awareness, not over chasing, not committing too hard, instead going back towards the area where we have the active generator that is currently being pressured. So I really like how Scorers is playing. He's not only strong in the individual chases, he's also doing good really nicely when we are talking about protecting the generators.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Gonna
you
know, Zongao wasting a little bit of time, and yeah, that's exact. I was like, there's no way, right? Like Zongao's not trolling us. Like, he had to have DS. And yeah, that was really good. And again, the teleport right here. Wait, are we gonna get this shot done? Oh my god, no, he missed. That's crazy. I feel like if you can get one person to rotate over, I think you do have to prioritize that last gen. But now what do you do? Like, wow, okay, so I think that I actually thought we were gonna see kind of maybe an aggressive play towards Nigel and Bubbo, but no, it looks like Unknown wants to really protect this last gen. So, and because of that, you can sort of at least get one person reset now. So
it will be very interesting if Oracle does manage to keep this play so good like they do right now to actually finish the final generator, because what's going really well for them at the moment is this drag away from the killer, trying to waste as much time as possible. The problem is that Scorers is just one step ahead. He has this teleportation is ready to go back and get back to the generator. He has the pressure that he needs in form of slugs, in forms of injuries that cost the survivors a ton of risk as well. So if Scorers is not making a mistake here, I don't see that Oracle is taking this final gen, even though they are very close. It definitely takes one hell of a survivor performance and coordination to get this one done. It is progressed very far, that's for sure. Eclipse has done a perfect job here defending it so far, but I don't see Oracle with this final step taking this. Now we have also a little bit of extra regression. We have a few more kicks as well. The animation of the gen blocker just started, so we at least have 3 more kicks onto this generator. SSB, how optimistic are you for Eclipse that this is going to end in a 4K here?
I feel like the 4K is going to happen. I feel like unless there's a huge blunder from Scores, I feel like the 4K is definitely happening. However, there's 3 kicks left, so I feel like maybe if Oracle can prolong the game for as long as possible, they're able to actually make something happen and get this last gen done, which is why you saw someone run all the way to the corner, knowing that, you know, if you just pull back a little bit, you're able to actually get something going. Zongao being a little bit smarter, you know, trusting the team to do this 2v1 on this last gen, while Zongao just goes and creates pressure on another gen, which you see 2 people only and not 3. You gotta think that, oh hey, maybe those gens being worked on, and then that kind of splits your time up as a killer, and that's a lot of decision making on the fly that you're gonna have to make, and yeah, we're gonna have to see if Scores can make it happen.
Chungazo aquí de Nigel. No lo hemos visto, pero ha sido chungazo.
Now Nigel here with the tricky chase. He's in the deep wound effect. He's broken. He's facing everything. The UVX on top, so he better get rid of that. In the meanwhile, Bubbo
¡Qué violación!
needs to give him time for that, and this is how it can be done. A little bit.
Lo está violando.
Of juice being served, dodging the UVX right after as well. This was so beautiful. Bubble with a very, very important chase here and a
Adiós.
huge time waste for the killer. Unfortunately,
Ahora ya no se puede hacer nada.
though, we see it in the shack there. This gen is far gone from being completed very soon. The only thing that I can think of now is that they secretly prepared something in the distance in one of these pockets, and that's the case indeed. The waiting Adam is making me think that we're actually on 99. Indeed, we're in the end game. SSB. Oracle, even though Scores was playing so wonderfully on the unknown, has shown an even better coordination and very strong will to get out here. And now it might be even realistic that they get staged
Se ha bugueado el sonido.
just out of the door. That's a crazy turn.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I feel like earlier there was that moment where the gen kick limit was kind of being visible for us, and
Que buje está el sonido, tío, qué locura.
it made me think, okay, you know, Zonkao is probably going to work on a gen, and that's exactly what happened. Like, he just like splits up and goes and applies pressure to the other side. I mean, that's kind of the expertise that, you know, these guys have, right? Obviously, if you're like U-Guard DBD, then you probably don't know who like Zongo and Nigel are, but like they're very coordinated, very strong, lots of experience. However, this might be a 4K0. I feel like oh no, it's not. There's gonna be stages out the door for sure, right? Yeah, that's crazy. There's one stage out the door, I think, right? Because I think it was like everyone was definitely except for Zongyao. Yeah. So it's gonna be.
Pues 3K, muy bien, se ha hecho 11 cuelgues. 11 cuelgues, muy bien, la verdad. Muy.
Escaping.
You know.
Vale, tenemos las perks, y eso que el desconocido prácticamente ha jugado sin perks prácticamente. Ha empezado muy flojete, la verdad, pero coño, según ha ido avanzando la partida, ha jugado mejor y mejor y mejor, la verdad. Me ha gustado al final, me ha gustado. Pero el comienzo le ha perdido bastante. Para mí, favor de sangre es que no debería haberla escogido. Pero bueno, aquí tenemos un poquito el conjunto de perks, que creo que es muy parecido al inicio a la primera partida del espectro. Algunos perks varían, pero vamos, en general muy parecidas. Vale, pues vamos con el
Welcome back,
partida de Bubok con lo desconocido. Va con Adon marrón, que os digo, este Adon está fortísimo. El Adon amarillo no me acuerdo, a ver si me acuerdo os lo digo. Y vale, también va con favor de sangre, sufragio de antidación y erupción. Vale, me gusta.
We want to the Records Yard with the unknown, it's Bubble.
El favor de sangre se ve desde la conchinchina, pero bueno, en fin.
We know him from Ariandel in Season 9, has been one of the top 4 teams alleged.
Pues bueno, Bubo para ganar tiene que hacerse 4K y que no le hagan... no, tiene que hacerse 4K, básicamente. 4K y ya está. Y gana la partida.
On the killer role, and now he's playing with Team Oracle. And the question is, will Team Oracle take it home with a 2-0, or are we moving forward into the...
Buah, qué rebote, qué buena,
Essentially, what Babo needs...
Ya está muerto aquí, ¿vale? MRK está muerto, no puedo hacer nada.
...is a 4K here, and the blood favor is coming in right after...
Claro, joder, qué rebote, Voy a verlo otra vez porque ha sido increíble, El rebote ha sido increíble.
Or are we moving forward?
O sea, ha rebotado en esta puta mierda de bombona.
Essentially, what Babo needs is a 4K here, and the blood favor is coming in right after SSB. This is peak.
Los supervivientes de Eclipse van a soñar con favor de sangre, os lo juro.
Gameplay.
What was
Pero bueno, muy bien jugado el rebote, la verdad.
that hit? What was that M2? You like the bounce and it went straight up and still hit. You saw the nodders from Bubba, like he was like, nah, that shot was crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was crazy. And like the blood favor coming in immediately, that was, I've never seen someone get zoned out so hard like that, you know, playing this game. Like, it's actually crazy how like it all just worked out perfectly in Bubba's favor. That could have been the best start on Unknown that anyone could have asked for, I'm not gonna lie to you. So yeah, this is gonna be tough,
and
man.
The blood favor... Sorry, I was lagging there a little bit, and also I'm hyped as hell, that's why I'm interrupting. The blood favor, I just wanted to say, the blood favor alone has got so much value here that even if it gets cleansed right now, he wouldn't complain.
Yeah, literally might have been the best, like that was the best case scenario ever. Like if anyone's like, why should I pick blood favor as a perk, then you just show them this clip and that's exactly why. So everyone will start using it, you know, so which is crazy because I feel like that's all we've been seeing. you know, this entire set so far. Like, even in the Wraith games, both killers are using Blood Vapor, so... The Dead Hard, though, gonna get...
¿Veis? Esos son los chungos que son buenísimos, porque en el pared vienen perfectos.
Through MRK, gonna be able to hang on for a little bit. If I'm not mistaken, this tile could be a little bit interesting to play the UVX around, and just like that,
Hostia, era muy buena jugada de MRK, volviendo en el palet, pero claro, se recupera muy rápido lo desconocido. Pero estaba bien pensado.
No way, didn't want to take...
Él pensó que le daba tiempo a hacerle de vuelta. No le dio tiempo. Debería haberse comido la grada y ya está.
Didn't want to take the... I can't remember, like, off the top of my head right now, because my memory is very short term, if they were affected by the UVX already. But at that point, if they weren't, I would have just taken the UVX and just run away with it, right? Like, I feel like there wasn't really much reason to vault back to that pallet, which is really unlucky, but MRK already dead on hook, so we're gonna have to see. You know, is Bobo? I feel like Bobo's very aggressive. Like, I feel like Bobo's also not afraid to slow it down if he needs to, but I feel like we're just gonna see a chase on someone else, right? Like, just using the TPs to kind of get around, maybe try to catch someone coming in for the save, and then maybe getting a tag, maybe even another down. So, but this is a really good spot to be in if you're Bobo, I think.
Bubbo is just a crazy killer.
Gira las pelotitas con una mala hostia al bubo que flipas.
Well, in Season 9 he has turned so many games in favor of Ariandel or putting them in the perfect win condition. And I mean, when we are talking about right here, 11 stages is usually something where you would say, well, 11 stages is hard.
Ya con esto se sabe que Kouros tiene liberación, un bubo lo debería saber, ¿vale?
To get.
Porque siempre en competitivo quien se entrega al cuelgue es quien tiene liberación, básicamente.
You need a ton of work on the killer side to even achieve that in the first.
La cuelga quiere sumar el primer cuelgue de este jugador.
Place. Honestly, we have the tunnel out ready to be.
Y ahora, claro, como sabe Kouros se va, pues al rico turno.
Eliminated from this trial, but we are not only tunneling out this survivor. In the meanwhile, we are putting up a task for the rest of the survivor team that they need to take care of Karush. At least it's the deliverance survivor, so it's just going to be a little bit of a penalty here in terms of the injury and the broken status effect for a while. But then straight back onto MRK. Elimination close. 3v1 scenario is closed for the survivors. Help is even sent now. Mathis is helping with dropping the pallet here. Very nice.
Aquí,
to see this
le ha dado.
coordination.
Qué mala suerte MRK aquí.
But MRK's chase needs to be much longer than just this, and it seems like it's going to aim for that Mathis. The knight in shot.
Muy bien aquí Mathis, muy bien protegiendo. Y Bubo, cuidado, lo intentó, pero MRK obviamente no es gilipollas y se paró de la pared.
Shining armor, Night Light, basically, is showing up right here in the chase with MRK and extending it by so much. And this is the window of opportunity that Eclipse needs to use in order to make something happen here.
Yeah, absolutely. This is where things have to come together, right? Like, it was a really rough start at first. But this is the moment where you kind of have to make things happen. If you're...
Por Dios, no te comas este chungo. Qué cagada de bubo. Cagada, gorda.
The Dead Hard coming in, that's crazy. Oh my god, MRK has 4 health stages. That's actually insane. I have 5 health stages even, right? Like, has the Dead Hard, has healthy hit, and then also has Mathis, and Blunt's coming in here with the body blocks, able to extend that chase. And look how many gens were done already. And that's only 3 stages so far, I believe. So this makes it really difficult. Like, I'm so curious as to, like, are they gonna be able to turn this around? Like, it was like, it's crazy because, like, if anyone can do it, it's Bubo. But like, this looks really, really bad right now for Oracle.
It does indeed. Babo needs to have something seriously going for him. MRK is going to take the next one. Is it going to be right here? MRK is...
Qué bien jugado MRK, muy bien jugado esta última chase. Es verdad que le han ayudado, pero muy bien jugado por su parte.
Taking the down, but way later than the original elimination. The good thing, though, is that the survivor team needs to go for the reset. Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think it is not possible to stay injured against Babo. He's too confident and too strong.
¿Veis resurgimiento? Qué buena es.
Though the location is revealed and he will go straight onto them again. 2 generators to go, 3v1 scenario. Usually, it's a massive slow.
Acabo de decir una gilipollas, ¿vale? No he dicho nada.
Down after survivor is eliminated.
Que el resurgimiento es después del cuelgue, en fin.
Since one survivor is working on the generators, one...
Esta habilidad, que no me salió. Es esta habilidad. Creo que se llama solidaridad o algo así, no me acuerdo muy bien, pero bueno, estabilidad.
Survivor
También es muy, muy buena.
chase, and in worst case, one is even hooked and needs to be taken care of, dropping the generator progress quite significantly. But we have everyone back to healthy, meaning that Babu needs to put up quite some workload to bring the survivors into the scenario where the generator pressure is dropped. And if Mathis is having a good run, as it seems to appear right here, at least he's able to survive this UVX shot and going for a run for a little bit longer, there is the chance that they are doubling up in the distance to at least generator number 4 getting some progress here.
Yeah, it's possible, but it looks like they're actually they might be both split, right? Like maybe, I was going to say, might be both split. Kurosh might be coming in to try to maybe get the save, maybe to set up. But yeah, I mean, so far, this is kind of, like you said, the situation that you just mentioned it too, right? Like, you have to let go of gem progress because someone's in chase and the other person has to drop to go get the save. But regardless, just the immediate, I feel like that was Resurgence. That was a very, very quick heal. I feel like that might have been Resurgence on Mathis, but I'm not 100% sure, so.
Yeah,
That was not that long, so far so good. Yeah, look at that right there. Shouts to production taking care of me. They're confirming my suspicions, but yeah, I mean, this is where it can slow down a little bit. But yeah, Dire, I'm excited. Like, it was a really hot start. The survivors really brought it back, and now it's kind of like in a stalemate, right? Like, who's gonna go first, right?
It's kind of like the previous set that we have seen, right? I get reminded a little bit of the Hawkins National Laboratory with the Wraith. Babbo very strong in the early game, so potentially Eclipse realizing after today that the early game is something that they should look into.
Ha fallado, que ya lanzar la granada para quitar la copia. Pues ha fallado.
They lose
Dice, no entiendo nada.
the survivor pretty quick. This is the same problem that we had on the Wraith game. They lose the survivor early, then they are facing this 3v1 scenario with reduced generator efficiency, reduced generator speed, and then they are playing well. Maybe they should just load in with 3 survivors next time, because as soon as they are losing a team member, they are starting to shine with the coordination is on point, the call-outs are on point, they are leaving the area as soon as the killer is turning around, trying to approach them. So all of this is working really well, and I can only imagine how Eclipse would look if they are doing this crazy performance right from the
Bueno,
beginning.
al menos se quita la granada y se ha puesto a tirar para meterse una posición entre ella y el killer. Tampoco no está mal del todo,
Let's go. Unfortunately, they are kind of fighting their own disadvantages that they are keeping from the early game, but they are doing extremely good doing so. Lux is getting a little bit
He puesto el addon marrón, es tan jodidamente bueno. Sin addon marrón no hubiese llegado lo desconocido.
surprised here though, and that's going to be a massive down here. That was much quicker than you would hope for Team Eclipse. That's going to be punishing, and we only start the generator over here, so I would still say that Babbo for me is in the favorite position right now.
Yeah, I would say so too. I think that's a very fair point, especially because if you look at the HUD, right, you see Mathis still being affected. So one of these like crazy shots from out of nowhere could just be an immediate injury, and you just have to play it. You have to play like you're injured. So yeah, you already see that right there. Like literally as soon as making side contact, Bubba trying to go for a crazy shot. So Mathis probably gonna want to stay around and kind of get rid of that a little bit, also to kind of still be in the zone to like set up for a save, but. Gonna have to see what the thought process is right here.
Oh, la copia aquí la hace counter. Aquí si no hubiese sido hojita al Matis.
Oh, did you just hit your own clone right there? Wasn't able to actually get something happening.
Muy buena, le ha dado impacto a Kouros, muy buena.
So yeah, he a little bit sabotaged himself with that. I don't think he worries too much because the loss is not that significant, but it is definitely a little bit unlucky for Babbo here. Kurosh 60% on the generator, Mathis being around this area as well. How long do you want to have your survivors sit on hook? That's the question they need to answer. Perfect timing by Mathis here. This ensures that it's not going to be a trade on on this unhook. Instead, Mathis will take some significant distance behind the Shack, and now they are running to one side of the Wreckers. They will make sure that Bubble needs to be really careful with the calculation of what he can chase and what would be too much of a time loss. Mind game not going to be successful. When in doubt, then you're just holding W and comp DBD. Teleport back towards the Shack, not successful. Survivors were either calculating with it or showing at one health of awareness here, making sure that they are not going to be too
Impresionante movimiento de Matis.
quickly. UVX shot not
Y aquí muy mal Matis. O sea, lo he hecho muy bien antes y ahora muy mal.
landing once again. Bubble also getting a little bit of unlucky now
Bueno, al menos un M1.
with some of his shots here. Mathis though taking the injury, and if Bubble is not able to down Mathis almost instantly,
Muy bien, como aquí Matis prevé que le va a sacar la boquita, pues le hace este camino.
there is going to be this window of opportunity for Eclipse again. Might be some resets coming out, might be more pressure on this fourth generator that we have seen earlier. So Mathis
Aquí no puede hacer nada Matis.
is responsible for a long run, but even here Bubble is able to show a nice counterplay to that. Overall looking pretty strong on the unknown stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And then to kind of recap, I know we had that weird moment where Bubble was just shooting his own hallucination. I think that slash backpack where like if you shoot the hallucination, it'll like trigger a blast area around it, and it actually I think reduces the timer of your next one. So that could have been like a, well, I'm not gonna reach it in time. Your like timer's about to run out. So let me just throw this one out. If you're close enough, then that's the down, and I think that's probably what they were going for. But regardless, still able to get Mathis down. But like you said, like Mathis was able to hold chase really well right there against Bubbo. And just like that one last generator remaining, I mean, you know, definitely not as many stages as earlier. So I feel like Bubble does need to just end it here. I think if it comes down to all 5 gens being done, I feel like they're gonna get someone out the gate, and that's probably gonna be the tiebreaker set coming out our way. So
now let's see what's going to be the next plan. Karouche moving into the basement. They were expecting that Bubble would put it down there, but it's not going to be the case. Lux is being placed next to the generator over here. 4th generator completed. That was Mathis going into the basement. Sorry, Karouche waiting close by. Generator number 4 being completed by the survivors now. Definitely a step towards that end game. If Lux is dying, that would be pretty difficult though to get the final generator as 2 and then
Aunque me da a mí que no van a hacer este motor, me da a mí que no lo van a hacer.
escaping this trial. Mathis also wouldn't be enough for the win if he escapes. That's important to keep in mind. If Mathis escapes, we are talking about 11 stages, and then we are facing a clean time that is going to come out here. So if anything, then Karouche needs to be the one that is staying hidden, because he's worth the 2 stages that we are looking for. Alternatively, we would need a 2-man escape, which with the current state is quite hard to achieve, and especially with this being a trade.
yeah, I was gonna say it's definitely hard, especially when Karouche has to be the one that ends up trading right here, not Mathis. So yeah, I feel like at this point now, this is the part of the game where you know, Bubble kind of, you know, has been in this situation before, has been in these like tense, like, okay, one mistake and it could cost me the game. You know, so I feel like he's playing it a lot tighter, playing it a lot cleaner, you know, getting his UVXs, getting his tags, and then bouncing off of someone else right there, and that's gonna be a down Mathis. That's gonna be a dead Mathis too. So like you said earlier, wasn't gonna be enough for Mathis to escape because he is dead on hook, and that's just gonna be it. And yeah, this is pretty much all but over, but we're gonna have to see. You never know, right?
There's always something possible, and especially as we talked about at Team Oh Boy, where some survivors have transferred into Team Eclipse here. They were known.
¿Qué pasa aquí?
Where some survivors have transferred into Team Eclipse here. They were
Me imagino que habrá saltado a la copia y la habrá pillado ahí en medio de la nada.
known for something crazy, but realistically, with Karouche now going down and Lux being the final survivor revealed by the... he's nodding because he knows that he just moved into the 2-0 for his team. Well, that seals the deal. That is going to be Oracle taking the 2-0 win here on the Wrecker's Yard if everything is going right. Not hoping that Babu is disconnecting now through internet, but if everything is going according to plan, that should be the 4K on a generator remaining, sealing the 2-0 in this best of 3. Eclipse, this is something that we can take here today though. We have seen how strong they can be, but I feel like what, let's say, hindered them to take the win in one of these sets was their early game, because everything that followed afterwards was pretty clean.
Muy buen rebote aquí con el árbol.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, like, you know, like a lot of the core from O'Boy is playing, you know, with Eclipse for all Hallows League. And
muy buena aquí, Luke.
I feel like the mantra for O'Boy was they were so close so many times last season. So I feel like, you know, it might be a little bit of that again.
Aquí está de jajillas, básicamente.
This, like, it felt like there was a lot of situations where, like, if you go back and watch it, was like, man, they really they were under control. They just couldn't clutch it out, and I feel like that, you know, that probably is a little bit of how it went as well. But definitely no shame, right, in losing to a team as strong as this, historically decorated, and has some, you know, top new players.
Rompe el palet ya, por favor.
Quote, new players to the team as well. So definitely no shame in that. But yeah, I mean, that was crazy. I like how in the first, in Tile 3,
para que veáis lo difícil que son los rebotes, que un jugador que es muy bueno está fallando muchísimo.
I really liked how everyone played around, you know, Nigel and Zongyao played around unknown stuff very well. Like, you could tell that they were playing. Sure.
Is this?
But Lux is like using this very last chase though. It's funny because we just talked about what the teams are capable of, and now in this very final moments here, Lux is showing us what Eclipse is capable of, because he actually 1v1 himself.
Madre mía, las manqueadas, tío.
Into being the champion, who should be crowned instant ladder champion in my opinion, and picking scene here, huge new rule change. Even if Kurush would escape right now, it wouldn't count, because you need to complete all 5 generators, and only then hatch or exit gates are counted for the final survivor. It's certainly style points, but it counts as 12 stages on 4 individual survivors if your team has not completed all the generators. Therefore, we are going into one additional ladder 1v1 here. Basically, they can put in the commands I won or I lost.
Bueno, ya están aquí vacilando. Quemar el audio de un comentarista, Vale, aquí tenemos las perks chungo con sobreponerse. Interesante, claro. Esto sabéis por qué lo llevan, para que en la primera chase el Survey tenga alguna perk, básicamente, ¿vale? Porque sobreponerse a partir de ahí ya no tiene sentido. A ver, la puedes seguir utilizando y no utilizar chungo en toda la partida, pero te tienen que curar. Que no te curan, tienes chungo a partir del primer cuelgue. Que te curan, pues tienes sobreponerse, básicamente, ¿vale? Para ambas situaciones. Y agilidad, que de equilibrio tiene aquí. Y el sprint, bueno, está bien. Aquí lleva un poco build de curar, tal. Aquí también un poquito de reparación con curación. Y sí, curación con segundas oportunidades. Buena build en general. Aquí lleva también para proteger al colgado. Aunque en este caso MRK fue el que menos duró en partida. Pero bueno, me gusta mucho cómo ha jugado Lux, la verdad, del equipo de Eclipse. Y nada, hubo eso, simplemente ha matado muy rápido al primer superviviente, muy rápido. Y claro, MRK lo ha hecho mal en chase, y la primera kill es demasiado importante en competitivo. Toda la partida va a partir de la primera kill. Si la primera kill se produce muy rápido, pues la partida la tienes más sencilla para ganarla. Y aquí lo tenéis, ganada por U. Así que nada, un 2-0 para el equipo de Oracle. Han sido obviamente superiores a Eclipse. Eclipse, bueno, un equipo de momento de los que son muy buenos normal. Así que a ver si les vemos algún partidito más. Y nada, chicos, espero que os haya gustado el análisis. Y mañana nos vemos en un partidito de la DBDLeague viendo mecánicas de verdad. Hasta mañana, chavales. Chao.